So when you get to the public portion, the attendees will be given permission to speak. I'll introduce them, they'll introduce themselves, but it will only be audio.
Okay.
So we'll work on a different setup for the next meeting, maybe. But for right now, the screens are really only going to see me. You're not going to be able to see the other attendees for now.
Sounds great.
Okay?
Are we live?
We are live.
We're live, okay. Well, welcome to the regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. This is our first, I should have that on. This is our first hybrid meeting, in person and remote. So please excuse or have patience with us as we try to figure out the technical aspects of it. I'm sure we'll get there eventually. So appreciate everyone's patience. So take it away, Margo.
I, Margo G.K., the Town Clerk of the Town of Morristown, do hereby state that it is 7:43 p.m. on Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, and that this regular hybrid meeting is being held via webinar and in person. Both adequate and electronic notice of this meeting were provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the Town of Morristown, and to the Newark Star Ledger, both more than 48 hours ago. Notice was also posted in Town Hall and on the town website and filed with the office of the Town Clerk of the Town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. Take a roll call. Councilwoman Cotton.
Here.
Councilman Elms may be joining us. Councilwoman Foster.
Here.
Councilman Iannacone.
Here.
Councilwoman Mayer.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
Council President Armington.
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Great, thank you very much. All right, we'll move into a moment of silence. Followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd just like to say that was enjoyable, a lot more enjoyable to actually stand up and say it together to the flag as opposed to saying it from digital screens. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Go ahead.
Before we get started, please be aware that public comment during the public hearing portions of this meeting will be held both in person and through the Zoom app. At the appropriate time, members of the public wishing to speak shall indicate so by raising his or her hand in chambers or in the app. To comment via Zoom, click on the raise your hand icon at the bottom left side of your screen. You may also raise your hand by pressing *9 on your phone. When it is your turn, the moderator will send a signal through the app and ask that you unmute yourself so that you may be heard. To unmute yourself on the phone, press *6. There are 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. Item number 2, the pregame 4-miler superhero events, February 13, 2022, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, is being pulled for separate consideration and discussion. So at this time, I would ask for a motion to adopt items 1 and 3 of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt items 1 and 3 of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Sorry about that. Can I have after I say yes, will I be able to ask a question regarding it?
Regarding what?
Number 1.
Well, let's pull them and do it each individually then.
Do the, yeah.
I'd like to revise my motion to make a motion to approve item number 1.
Second.
Okay. Councilwoman?
Yes. I was just curious. I noticed that this is from April 12th of 2021, and I was just curious to know, why it would take so long for us to vote on this particular meeting?
Well, you will recall that that was the 3rd hearing for the Iron Bar, ABC, sitting as the ABC board. There were 3 very intense meetings that had a lot of information to digest. We've also had some internal situations in the office, and I had not completed them as timely as I normally would. But this is the third and final, and now I will be catching up on meeting minutes to date.
Thank you.
That is not the usual turnaround time for minutes, but as an ABC hearing, it is a little bit more complicated to capture the information and more time-consuming.
I have a quick question also. So not all the comments and questions by council are included in the minutes. Do they have to be, or you just sort of summarized it that we had questions?
Minutes are not a transcript word for word. Minutes, by their definition, is really a description of decisions made. When I prepare minutes, I include comments that are salient and lead to the final conclusion and final decision. I do not, as a rule, do verbatim. If you want to do that, we'd have to bring in a transcriber to do that.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay.
But just so everyone's aware, the meetings are recorded, and so if anyone wants to know the exact comments, those are readily accessible.
Thank you. That is correct. Okay, on the adoption of consent agenda item number 1, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayer,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda item number 2, the pregame 4-miler on February 13, 2022.
I'll make a motion to adopt consent agenda number 2, pregame 4-miler.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilman?
Yes, I'd like to have this item pulled and consider it at a later meeting. Prior to COVID, we actually had a series of meetings that was actually a subcommittee of this council. We actually met with the Morristown Partnership and the sponsors of this run and other runs here in the town. What was agreed to at that meeting was certain routes and certain times so as to not interfere with certain operations in the town. In this particular instance, what we are voting on is actually a route that goes down Maple and parts of McCullough and downtown during basically the morning, which is the church service time, and that was a particular concern amongst several of the churches. So we had met, and like a lot of other things that transpired during COVID, people forget. And so I'll kind of give benefit of the doubt here. But there was a very clear understanding as to what routes during what times of day, as to not interfere with either church services on Sunday morning, business operations also in town, particularly for things like the Verizon run, where to avoid. And we put a lot of work into this effort. And I was actually quite surprised when I saw this application come across the desk, given the amount of effort that we put into this topic 3 or 4 years ago.
I recall that, and I appreciate your input. I do know that one of the organizers of the event is here, and I'd like to give him an opportunity to speak if he has had conversations with the church or otherwise, or if you have anything productive to share, vis-a-vis conversations with the stakeholders, I'd appreciate that. Otherwise, if you're more willing to have it wait, it's your call.
It's okay to calm down?
Yeah, come on down.
Like Tracy's right, come on down. Good evening, Council. My name's Chris Russo, 40 West Park Place, right here in Morristown, obviously. And Bob, I appreciate your concern. I know it's been a concern in the past, something that we've had a conversation about. In the past, we haven't had any conversation with them for the 2022 race. We did mention that we'd be happy to work. I mean, we speak to the police department about this. We always are happy to work around the church. If we have to move our time to a different time to do that, we certainly will, even if it means changing the course, we can certainly do that. I know we've made some accommodations. I've spoken to Linda over at Assumption in the past. And anything we can do to accommodate them, we do our best to do that. Obviously, we know people are doing this on a weekly basis, and we don't want to mess that up. So we'd like you, obviously, to consider this event. I mean, as far as running events go, a Super Bowl timeframe is a very short window for us to promote the event, get people to sign up. So every week or 2 weeks that we wait would obviously be pretty detrimental to the operation. Again, Bob, I do understand your concern, and it's something we've discussed in the past. And the last thing we want to do is, create any traffic issues with those churchgoers. But it's something that we're we're always happy to address, and something that, I could, call Linda and have a conversation with.
So, Chris, why don't we do this? Why don't we put this off till the meeting on the 14th?
Okay.
The approval of this, let you and I get together. Let's go through our notes and kind of we did a memorandum after the other meetings we had 3 years ago. Let's review those, become re-familiar with it, because a lot happened between
Sure, yeah, of
then
course.
and now with COVID and everything. Let's go through that. And let's just, I think with a little tweaking on this route, because I do know that game time is, I don't know what game time is, because you're trying to do this.
Yeah, so no, it would be like before, we've done it anywhere from 9-ish to 11-ish in the morning, but
maybe tweaking this till after 1 o'clock, or there's some tweaks you can do, even a little tweak to the route, and I think you can accommodate this.
yeah, I think we could, whether it's a time or a tweak to the route or a bit of both. I mean,
Let's
it's
do
certainly-
this. We
Yeah.
have each other's phone numbers. Let's get together and let's take a look at this.
That works for me.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, so we'll table that until the 14th. Or 13th, or whatever it is.
December 14th.
Yes.
Okay, and then consent agenda item number 3, facilities use request, First Night Morris County, December 31st, 2021, 4:30 PM to 1 AM.
I'll make a motion to adopt the facilities use request for First Night Morris County.
I'll second.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Anacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayer?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Armington?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, at this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any matter. For remote members of the public, please raise your hand in the Zoom app to indicate that you would like to speak. If you've joined the meeting via telephone, please press star 9. We'll start with the members here who are in person. Kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order. No comments were received via email. Anyone?
I guess there's no one in person, so anyone in remote?
Council members, there's one public comment speaker online, Kelly Montez.
Okay.
If you would please unmute yourself, state your name and address to the record.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Although I'm not able to attend in person, I certainly appreciate the decision to open up for in-person, and I look forward to attending. Forgive me, Kelly Montez, Flagler Street. I do have 2 things I want to touch on real quick regarding ordinance 32 and the re-implementation of health officer. As I understand it, prior to outsourcing this position to the county several years ago, this was a supervisory position that fell under the Service Workers Union, Local 255. And I'm wondering if the union was made aware that this position will now, come back to the municipality. And if so, or if not, why is this not going back to a union position? And regarding Resolution 176 and the Leona Urban Renewal, can anyone tell me what's the actual amount this, the land portion only, the assessment should have been assessed at? Because I can't find that anywhere online. And of that amount, what has actually been paid, for this year, 2021? And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Montez. Thank you, Ms. Montez. All right, so we will move into council responses to public hearing questions or
Council
comments.
President, you may want to close public
Oh, yes,
portion.
yes, I'd like to close the public hearing. And we'll move on to council responses to public hearing comments. Do we have any?
Council President, you may want to close public portion.
comments.
Oh, yes, yes.
comments. And we'll move on to council responses to public hearing comments. Julian, do you have a response to the health worker union question?
With regard to the new public health officer positions, before a union can discuss whether it's appropriate to be part of the union, the positions have to be created first, which is what these ordinances before you for consideration would do.
Okay, thank you. All right. With regard to Resolution 176, the issue is basically there was an error so that the property that was assessed is part of the redevelopment site at Ridgedale and Morris, I believe.
Ford and Morris.
Ford and Morris, sorry.
Correct.
That is under payment in lieu of taxes, and so no taxes should be assessed for the duration of that period. I'd have to go back to the, do you recall what the assessed value was?
To clarify slightly, Councilman,
Yes, correct.
when a piece of property is under a pilot, the improvement portion becomes exempt. And the pilot becomes their improvement. The pilot agreement replaces the assessed value for those improvements. What occurred in this case, which is why the resolution is before you for consideration, was there was an assessment erroneously placed on the improvements for the property, which means that they were overtaxed because they were billed for the improvements as well as the pilot. So we're asking that the council give us permission to remove the improvement because the pilot has already been billed. As far as the actual value of the pilot, that's something that I would have to get back to as far as that specific detail.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments, council? No? Okay, we'll move on to mayor's proclamations and presentations.
Marilyn, want to come up? Good. All right. It's always good to see you. Proclamation, in case you don't know who Marilyn is.
Hi, guys.
Everybody knows. Oh, sure.
Oh.
Do you want to just say hi to everybody?
You're like a midget. Hello,
Yeah. Tell you the name of your company?
Wells Rug
Everybody
Service.
sees Wells Rugs, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do this way for the public and both of us. can see. This is a proclamation, whereas in 1921, Wells Rug Service, Inc. opened their carpet cleaning business in Boonton, New Jersey. And in 1929, they moved their business to 49 Bank Street in Morristown, New Jersey. The Wells family built an exceptional business which has remained dedicated to excellent customer service and detailed craftsmanship. They focus on quality, not quantity, and specialize in cleaning and repair of Oriental area rugs of all sizes. In addition to installation and cleaning of commercial and residential wall-to-wall carpeting and upholstery. In 1981, Helen and Harry Harlos purchased the business after a robbery placed the business in jeopardy. In 2006, their daughter, Marilyn Harlos, took over. Marilyn is a graduate of Morristown High School and has led the business through many challenges, including a devastating fire, trucks crashing into the shop, her own personal issues, and most recently, COVID-19, the pandemic. Wells Rug Service, Inc. serves all, including some well-known customers, including Malcolm Forbes, William Simon, Governor Christie Whitman, Fred and Ellen Kirby, the Freelandheisen, and Charles Engelhardt. And Wells Rug Service is a true gem. The Morristown community joins the Harlos family and Wells Rug Service, Inc. family in celebrating 100 years in business and offers congratulations on reaching such a milestone. Now, therefore, I, Timothy P. Doherty, Mayor of the Town of Morristown, and on behalf of all the residents of the Town of Morristown, do hereby proclaim November 30th, 2021 as Wells Rug Service, Inc. Day in the Town of Morristown.
Thank you.
I love that place. I take my red ball.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're terrific. You guys are great. Okay, Oh. Is it on? Can you guys see the little red light clear?
You gotta cover it.
I know, I did, I still can't see it. It's hard for me because of the color. I'm colorblind too, so it's hard. I can't, they fog up and I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get through this. November 19th, there was a grand opening ceremony of Elysium Biod, how do you say that? Body Dynamic, but it's biodynamic, bio. Spa and Salon on 190 South Street, attended by Toshiba Foster, Sandy Mayer, and Tawana Cotton. Would one of you like to just speak very briefly on the experience? Because I saw pictures, and you guys looked like you were having fun.
It was a wonderful evening. It was a wonderful evening at Elysium Biodynamic Spa. It was a roaring 20s party. We all dressed up, got dressed up to the nines. It was a wonderful event. They're a new business in town. Hopefully, everybody will support them. It's a full-service spa, hair, massages. They do not do nails because there's enough nail salons in town, as they said. Wonderful group of people, and it was just a really fun evening. Right, ladies? So we represented the
I
town.
saw some pictures, and they looked like you were all having a good time. And the theme was Roaring 20s?
Roaring 20s, so.
It looked like you guys were having a Roaring 20s.
And we acted like we were in our 20s.
It's pretty good. So I thank you all. I couldn't make it that evening, but thank you for representing Morristown and being at that grand opening. Is a well-invested business into our town, and I know Stefan will be right over there for his spa day. All right, Jen here? Jen still here? She left? No. She left? Okay, all right, well, when she comes back in, let her know we acknowledged her. Sunday, the 28th, Santa's arrival and lighting of the green via the Morristown Partnership was very well attended. It was a really good kind of wintry night. They had a little fake snow when Santa was coming, so it was very interesting coming in our fire truck. And I thank the fire chief for getting the antique fire truck started because he usually comes off the roof of Century 21, but he came around the green with an antique fire truck, which was very interesting. And he kind of walked through the crowd, and it was different, but I think it was a successful event, and I wanted to thank the partnership, and they did a good job with it. I want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah. Wednesday, December 1st, for the council's information and public, Hanukkah on the Morristown Green and menorah lighting hosted by the Morristown Jewish Center in conjunction with Temple B'nai Or. That will be from 5 to 6 p.m. That'd be Wednesday. That would be tomorrow. Thursday, December 2nd, from 5:30 to 6:30, Hanukkah on the Green and the menorah lighting hosted by Chabad of Morristown Rabbinical College of America. That will be Thursday night from 5:30 to 6:30. Sunday, the 12th, MPAC's Festival of Lights event at the MPAC Plaza and Vail Mansion Lawn. Free evening of song, celebration, and light, and that is between 5 and 7 p.m. Sunday, the 12th. There's some special mentions. COVID info, including vaccinations and booster shots. You can link to townofmorristown.org/COVID-19. You can call our office at 973-292-6626. We can get you, if you're a homebound resident, get you vaccinated. If you need to find out more information, you can go to covid19.nj.gov. And if you want to get in touch with the governor, it's nj.gov/governor. Zufall is offering vaccines at St. Peter's Church at 70 Maple Avenue every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Testing from 1:30 to 3:30. Appointments are encouraged, but they are open for walk-ins. Schedule online at www.zufallhealth.org or call 973-328-3344. Just a couple more things. I want to thank the council president for getting this up and going, this hybrid. Although if you pay attention to as much as we do to COVID-19, the interest rates are going up, or inflation. transmission rate.
Transmission rate
is going up, and there has been a spike in New Jersey. I did talk to Atlantic Health today. They have seen an uptick in the Delta. So I want the public to be aware that COVID-19 is still here. We're in the time frame of the weather where it is transmissible. Most people that are getting it don't have vaccinations, but people who are vaccinated are also getting it. I also asked Atlantic Health if they had any information on this new variant. Does anybody know how to actually say this? Omicron? Bob, is that correct? Thanks. I'm trying to find out as much information, and probably starting Monday, as we get more information, if we get some tomorrow or Friday, we'll post it, but that'll be a theme that we'll be concentrating on, is this new variant. We know that it's in Canada. We know it's in a lot of other countries. It'll just be a matter of time before we start seeing cases in our country. I don't know enough about it to speak about it tonight, other than what I've read, and it doesn't seem like a very friendly variant, and like any of these are, but we don't know if the Pfizer, Moderna, or J&J vaccine will work against it, from what I'm being told from some sources, that it's better to have the vaccine than not have the vaccine. But it is a new variant, and there is a lot of side effects to it. So please, as the president said, when you go inside, put your mask on until your food gets there. So, do the same things we had to do with COVID since it started. I know people don't want to hear about lockdowns and school shutdowns. I mean, the county shut down the high school for how many days? 10? 10 days, and people were, not upset about it, but it's very, very difficult for parents with their children when they have to go to work. It's very, very difficult. So it's a trying time for all of us. And as a community, we just got to keep our focus on information that we get out to the public, and we will do that. So if you have information or you find out something, let the office know. We will post it. We will get it out on Instagram, on Facebook, and get it to the public, because this is, as it was before when this started, this is a public issue, and it's a public safety issue. So make sure you check our public safety page. Our director will make sure he's up to speed on everything as he is with the vaccines and getting people tested and vaccinated. But just from the last 18 months of the posts, how many posts had COVID in it, and continues to have COVID in it. So just be careful. We're not out of it, and even people with vaccinations get this. So please be very careful and take heed on it, and know that it's here and it's real. And if you know people that aren't vaccinated, tell them to get vaccinated. Really, just, you have friends, try to talk them into it, because it's important that we have that herd immunity at sometime in 2022 to try to get as safe as possible. Other than that, Council President, again, thank you for pushing to get this hybrid up. Thank you, Jillian, for putting it all together. And we really appreciate it, and thank you for the public the patience for what we're all going through. Well, that's it, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Council liaison reports.
Morristown Partnership did meet. Actually, it went great on Sunday, and I give a lot of credit to Bob Evans, the mayor, and Jen. You had to stall quite a long time for Santa to get there. So you were very good on your feet. Yeah. Other than that, just everybody, the message is try to support our small businesses, shop in town when you can shop in town. The other thing I remind everybody is go to the website. You can actually do the gift certificates, which is a great program, a great gift. So let's support our emergence during this holiday season.
Just from the Morristown Parking Authority, for the holidays, starting December 10th till Christmas, they'll have the meter bags on all of the meters in the area. Additionally, the Ann Street and Bank Street garage will be free on Saturdays and Sundays for the month of December.
From MHA, the New Jersey HMFA has approved the allocation of tax credits for the 3 senior buildings that make the start of the RAT very soon. They expecting closing in December, construction contractor will begin to mobilize once the 3 permits for the 3 senior buildings are approved. They are expecting that within the week. And the physical construction and relocation will begin at the end of the first quarter 2022. The second thing, working with the mayor and Solfal, the MHA successfully administered 85 shots of booster. The booster, very important, as Mayor was saying. Nourish New Jersey continues to do a great work, weekly food distribution in all 3 senior sites. And recently, the MHA entered into a partnership with a new service provider to provide special activities for the seniors, 29 Ann Street, beginning in December. Number 4, outdoor fall cleanup for Menahan Village is moving well. They want to wrap up the 2021 in a good way. And the 5th, the mayor's, I think you didn't announce that, but I'll announce it for you. The mayor's senior holiday meal distribution is currently scheduled to take place on December 14 and 16, and in all 3 senior buildings and with the elderly at Menahan Village, and that's all from me.
Well, Kristen's probably going to be, Kristen probably didn't know, she didn't put it on my thing, but I am aware of it. I'll be there for it. I don't think you're going to have a lot of outside people coming in. It's pretty much the senior buildings will be populated by the people who live there. Before, Sandy, you give your shade tree, I forgot one thing, and I don't want to forget this. Anthony, where's our engineer? Where you at, Anthony? I want everybody to know that Anthony received an award in Atlantic City. I went to the luncheon. He got the award for Foots Pond. And we want to congratulate you. It's a great award for our town. It was the engineering, first place, the engineering, exactly what was it? Yeah, first place. Nice. And I tell you, so congratulations, Anthony, and it's great to have such an asset running our engineering department. Really appreciate it. And last thing, Councilwoman, is Jen back?
Yeah.
Jen, I just want to let you know, Councilman Iannacone and myself gave you accolades. You're welcome. That's it.
Okay, so the mayor did part of my shade tree report again. So anyway, the Fall Beautiful Tree Contest is on now, so submit all your trees. The Swamp Oak at the TJ School won the Summer Award. I was going to congratulate Anthony and his team on his award, but we've just done that. And right now, in this packet of information, tonight, we're going to be voting on the grant that's in progress for the tree inventory, and we are systematically pruning our trees, our town trees, which do cut down on the damage done during storms. As we know, we've had a lot of wind lately, and our trees are holding up because we do a systematic tree pruning. So that's it. And congratulations, Anthony. The job at Foots Pond is, I just got so many text messages about when I posted that and onto Nextdoor and Facebook about how wonderful you are. So we're grateful for you, Anthony. Thank you.
All right, if that's it. Before I move on, I do want to express my thanks to SJP Properties, who's the construction company for M Station, and Frank Vitolo. I reached out to them and asked them if they could salvage the rose bushes in front of the 7-Eleven, and they did a great job. And I have 9 rose bushes that are planted in my backyard, and I'm hoping that, assuming they survive, we can relocate them to either to the Ann Street Senior Center or maybe Early Street. We had my wife and I had provided about 10 rose bushes, knockout roses at Early Street about 10 years ago, and they're well received over there. So I want to thank Vitello and SJP Properties for that. So
Great job.
Okay. Regular business.
moving on to regular business.
There are 2 ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-34-2021, An ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the Town of Morristown, Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 40.2, handicap parking on streets for private residences, to amend the placard number assigned to a dedicated parking space for a resident of 29 Western Avenue.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 034, 2021.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions from council? On the introduction of ordinance 034, 2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone, Councilwoman Mayer,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance 034, 2021 has been properly introduced by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on December 14th. Ordinance number O-35-2021, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of a ladder truck in and by the town of Morristown and the county of Morris, New Jersey, appropriating $750,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $712,500 in bonds or notes of the town to finance part of the cost thereof.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 035, 2021.
I'll second.
Any comments or questions?
Just a quick question. Remind me, was it this year or last year that we allocated funds for the other
truck?
fire truck?
Oh. I apologize.
Sorry.
So we did allocate in the 2021 capital budget, about $750,000 for, towards the purchase of a ladder truck. Our original intention was to split it over 2 years, to do half now and half in 2022.
Okay.
With the cost of materials going up so substantially, we got word from the vendors that there would be a substantial increase if we were to wait till next year.
Got it.
So, we'd like for you to consider front-loading by about 6 months, the balance of that, so we can get that order started, and we'll have a corresponding reduction in our anticipated capital plan for next year.
So it's the same vehicle?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
that
it
was
would
my
be
question.
replacing the ladder truck, which is
Great.
almost 1.4 and change.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think that's a good move to do it now.
yeah.
And what do you do with the old ladder truck when we replace this one? Do we hang on to it? Does it get donated somewhere?
What happens is the frontline trucks get moved into reserve position, and then the reserve truck, if it gets kind of like second reserve. My guess, though, is the condition of our reserve trucks, it will likely be surplused or used for spare parts.
Joanne, does this truck service any other towns other than our town?
Our fire department does respond to mutual aid to our neighboring towns on a relatively regular basis. We don't thankfully get a ton of outside calls, but we do respond to mutual aid, just like we have mutual aid coming into town.
Have ladder trucks?
I'm sorry?
Do the other towns around us also have ladder trucks?
I'm sure that they do,
Okay.
but we also don't want to rely on mutual aid for 100% of our calls. There have been times where both of our ladder trucks have been down for a
I
substantial
was
period
actually
of
thinking the
time.
opposite, where we're covering the other towns with our ladder truck.
It's mutual aid, goes both ways, really. But I'll tell you, we've seen a lot more downtime with our ladder trucks over the last couple of years than we've normally seen. And it's cost us a ton of money, number one. But we've also, because we've had both trucks down for extended periods of time, we've had to rely on more mutual aid than normal, and we don't want to continue to do that. The last thing I'll mention, and then I'll let you move on, the nature of fire apparatus, they have to be made to order, and they typically take from 12 to 24 months, and ladder trucks usually are on the longer period of time. So even once we get this order started, it'll be a couple of years before we see the truck coming into town.
Maybe we should put the reserve ladder truck down at the airport so we don't have to respond
Or the other thing to consider long-term but seriously is, we do have this ladder truck. That station is centrally located in the hole of the donut with Morris Township. Do we starting to consider sharing some expenses of the fire departments? Some parts of our town, Collingswood, for example, for the first ward, tends to be the closest firehouse, for example, to those homes on that side of town. Fairchild on those homes in the third ward. Is it time that we start looking at the possibility of talking with the township of consolidating, and maybe even Morris Plains, consolidating some of our services for savings? Because the cost of this capital, you're absolutely correct, is going to go up. and it's going to continue to go up. So maybe it's the time that we sat down, and the mayor and I have talked about this, but maybe we can reconsider it. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm 100% for it.
I know you
I
are.
don't think that we're going to get that same
I know.
feedback.
Feedback.
I can
From
say
them.
I had one meeting about that, and we brought up the governor's person who does the joining services. I've watched a few towns try to do it. It doesn't seem to be successful. One thing is Morris Township has more volunteers than the paid members, but, and I'll quote the former mayor, not in a billion years. So, you know, maybe it's changed a little bit. They have a new mayor will be coming in, Mark Geoffrey, and we could sit down with the chiefs, but you can get an earful from Chief Flanagan on, it's a very difficult task.
I know.
We'd love to do it. I think it's something that would be great if we could merge services with two surrounding towns, the Plains and the township, but it's a very difficult task.
Do we keep any fire equipment at the airport?
I'd have to ask the fire chief. Do we keep any equipment at the airport? I don't think so. There you go.
For the benefit of the public, no, we don't keep any of our equipment there, but the the airport has some of their own equipment at the airport.
I just watched the race down last Tuesday to an emergency, so there's a lot of trucks and ambulances.
We do respond to the airport occasionally, but they also have their own equipment.
Yeah. We
All
have
right,
the- We have
let's
the
call the
greatest
question.
fire department in Morris County.
On the introduction of ordinance O-35-2021, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayer.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance 35-2021 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after public hearing on December 14th. We have one ordinance for public hearing and adoption. That's ordinance 0-32-2021, an ordinance of the Town of Morristown and the County of Morris, State of New Jersey, amending ordinance O-18-2017, establishing compensation for management/non-union positions in the Town of Morristown, New Jersey, and amending all ordinances concerning such compensation heretofore adopted.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 032-2021.
I'll second.
At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-32-2021 only. No members of the public wishing to speak?
And Councilman, I don't see any members of the public online either.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing for 032-2021.
Any comments or questions from council? On the adoption of ordinance O-32-2021, Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster?
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayer?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Council President Armington?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted. There are 8 resolutions on the agenda this evening. Would members of council like to pull any for separate consideration?
Can we pull 178?
Any others?
Yes, 183.
Any others?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution R-176, R-177 through R-182.
No, I'm sorry, that's 176, 177, 179 through 182?
Yes.
I'll second.
Okay, on the adoption of those resolutions, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilman Mayer.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 178-2021, resolution requesting approval for the insertion of a special item of revenue in the 2021 budget pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-87, American Recovery Coronavirus Funds.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R-178-2021.
I'll second.
Councilman?
Jillian, take a round for this one, because this is a lot of work, because I've done these applications, and there, a lot of work goes into doing these applications. And I think we want to tell people what this is about. We shouldn't just keep it silent, because this is a big plus for our budget that you've done here, and you should take a round.
Sure. So 178 is for slightly over $1 million that the town will receive from the American recovery program, which is colloquially known as the ARP funds. Those are the funds that were allocated to all municipal and state governments out of the coronavirus recovery funds for the purposes of revenue subsidies for those of us who lost revenue. This will 100% go to all of our lost revenue that we've lost since COVID. And this also can be used towards public health investment and other types of programs as dictated by the federal government. So this is the first of 2 tranches. We'll get the second tranche in 2022. Unfortunately, it did not arrive in time for us to consider it as part of our 2021 budget, but it will be considered as part of our 22 budget process. Thank you.
Great, well done.
We also recognize our CFO.
Yes.
Yes.
Frank Mason.
Thank you, Frank.
As I said before, and I would get Jillian's head big, but, no, I don't like, because then it's going to be, then you'll know I said it.
Oh, my gosh.
No.
I'm trying to,
She is one of
everybody's
the
at
best
home.
business administrators in the state, by far. So we need to keep an eye on that and keep her here. But it is about the team.
Yes.
And we have an excellent team in the administration. Frank Mason is an outstanding CFO, and we have an outstanding business administrator leading this town. She really is. I'll say this publicly. In the league, in the convention, I had many people go, who your business administrator is? And I tell them who my business administrator is, and they go, oh my God, how did you get her? We just got lucky. And sometimes you need a little luck to get something that really fits in this community. And the team that she's put together that are here and stay here is fantastic and superior to a lot of municipalities. And I appreciate the work that you bring and the work Frank brings. Our tax assessor who's sitting in the front, Al Chifo, people in the back, 4 people in the back. This is all part of the team. And that's what makes this town click and makes this government click, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes. That includes our town clerk as well. We do have a great team. All of our department heads, we work very well together, along with our elected officials. This is a great town, a great place to work.
I really have
Thank you.
very few conversations with Margot. I don't think we talk at all during the year.
No, we do not, sir.
You deal with Jillian and the council president. But we all had Beach Bar for a dozen years. And his career has taken off now as a Superior Court judge. But the acquisition of getting David Mancello here was, as we all met the speaker, and we all had the time to talk to him, and you see the quality that we have now brought to our legal department in Morristown, again, superior to none. So we're happy to have Mr. Mancello on board and his firm that backs him. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you mentioned the 4 people in the back. Can you just announce it, because people who are at home do not know who's sitting in the back?
So we have our police chief, Darnell Richardson, our chief of fire department, Robert Flanagan. We have our public safety director / 9 other things he does, director of OEM, Mike Cochran, and to his left is Anthony DeVizio, who won the award for Foots Pond. And that was a big event, Anthony. It was a lot of people there, all over the state. And our award, what you've been able to accomplish down there, compared to what other awards, sitting there watching the different awards, man, our Foots Pond blew these projects. I mean, people won awards, and not to demean that, for a concrete sidewalk with a ramp. And when you see what we've all accomplished with Foots Pond, not just us, but all, it's an amazing project that was completed. And, the help that we got from Mazer and their team, it worked really well. And I was proud to be mayor to go up and receive it for Anthony. So it's really good to see that stuff happen in town, the environmental stuff. Appreciate it. That's it.
On the adoption of Resolution R-178-2021, Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes.
Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone. Yes. Councilwoman Mayer.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-183-2021, resolution rescinding the 2021-2022 renewal of plenary retail club license 1424-31-039-002.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution R-183, 2021.
I'll second.
Councilwoman?
Yes, Jillian, just for the benefit of the public and the constituents listening, if you could just explain this before we vote on it.
Councilwoman Cotton, I'm actually going to defer to the town clerk who handles all the ABC
Who handles the
licenses.
renewals. So before each license can be renewed annually, there's certain criteria that must be met in order for that renewal to occur. This particular licensee had some tax, not issues, but tax things that had to be cleaned up. We went ahead and renewed them. I've since then been notified that because they are still an inactive license and have been for longer than a designated period of time, they have to get a special ruling from the director of the ABC. So I have notified the license holder of this fact. So we're rescinding it this evening. As soon as he's able to clear that up, get the special ruling from the director, we will then do another resolution reestablishing the renewal.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? On the adoption of Resolution R-183-2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone, Councilwoman Mayer,
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, that concludes the regular business. There's no unfinished business. There's no new business. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to add? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.